Hi, welcome back to the 360 Solicitors Microcast. The album is called How the Law Works in Nigeria. This is episode 3 and it's titled The Nigerian Constitution. I'm Ishaq, a Nigerian lawyer, but you can call me Shola for short. I'll be right back. As a Nigerian who took classes in social studies, civics and government, you must know that at the very top of Nigerian laws is the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999. That's a long name, so we'll just call it the Constitution. You are probably wondering why we have a 1999 Constitution. Well, a little bit of history. In 1999, Nigeria adopted a new constitution when the military handed over power to the civilians. Before 1999, Nigeria had new constitutions in the year 1960 at independence, 1963 when we became a republic, and 1979 when the military first handed over power to civilians. In fact, the 1963 and the 1979 constitutions were active under the military regimes. The military just suspended a part of them they didn't like and they modified other parts to suit their style of governance. The Nigerian Constitution does 5 basic things. First, the Constitution creates the country known as Nigeria. If Nigeria were to have a birth certificate, the name that would be on it would be the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and its gender would be F. No, not for female, but federation. Nigeria is a federation because it is made up of 36 states and a federal capital territory known as Abuja. The Constitution creates the capital of each state and mentions the exact names and numbers of local governments in it. In FCT Abuja, local governments are called area councils, and there are 6 of them.
In total, Nigeria has 774 local governments.
But Nigeria is not limited to only the land. As a coastal country, Nigeria extends into the sea. The part of the sea which touches the Nigerian land is known as Nigeria's territorial waters. Second, the Nigerian Constitution creates the Nigerian identity by stating who qualifies as a citizen or not. In Nigeria, you can be a citizen by birth, by registration or by naturalization. Being born in Nigeria is not what makes you a citizen of Nigeria by birth. As a general rule, if any of your parents or grandparents are or were members of a community indigenous to Nigeria, then you are a citizen of Nigeria by birth. If your husband is a Nigerian, then you can become a citizen of Nigeria by registration. Sadly, if your wife is a Nigerian, you cannot become a citizen of Nigeria by registration. If you have spent a continuous period of 15 years in Nigeria, then you can apply for citizenship by naturalization. Finally, you can renounce your Nigerian citizenship at any time, but not when Nigeria is physically at war. Isn't the reason obvious? The Constitution doesn't want you to escape conscription into the military. In times of peace, you own yourself, but in times of war, your country owns you. Third, the Constitution sets up the government and key public institutions in Nigeria. These are the institutions divided into the legislative, the executive, and the judicial arms of government. The 3 arms of government only exist at the federal and state levels. Therefore, the National Assembly and the State Houses of Assembly make up the legislative arms, the offices of the President and the Governor make up the executive arms, and the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeal, the High Courts, and the other courts make up the judicial arms. The Constitution also spells out the powers and functions of each arm of government. Other key institutions created by the Constitution include the Nigeria Police Force, the Armed Forces made up of the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force, the Independent National Electoral Commission known as INEC, the Federal Character Commission, the National Defense Council, the National Judicial Commission, etc. Fourth, the Constitution spells out the rights and responsibilities of people in Nigeria. This is why we have the fundamental rights in Chapter 4, which are basic human rights such as rights to life, rights to liberty, freedom of religion, freedom of expression, freedom of the press, freedom of association, etc. Other rights are constitutional rights, and these include the rights to vote, the rights to appeal court decisions, etc. Your duties under the Constitution include obeying the law, respecting the rights and interests of others, assisting law enforcement agencies, paying your taxes, defending Nigeria, being a good representative of Nigeria, etc. Fifth, the Constitution serves as the standard for every other type of law in Nigeria. This is why the Constitution is the supreme law of the land and why any other law that doesn't agree with it is invalid. Contrary to some beliefs, the Constitution does not literally contain all the laws in Nigeria. However, by giving the power to make laws to some public authorities such as the National Assembly and the State Houses of Assembly, and by recognizing other types of law in Nigeria, the Constitution has given life to other laws in Nigeria. In order to modify the Nigerian Constitution, the National Assembly and at least 24 states must approve the modification or amendment. The advantage of this serious requirement is that it makes it difficult for a small group of people to change the Constitution to suit their ulterior motives. However, the same requirement makes it difficult for the Constitution to adapt to changing circumstances. Before I go, don't forget, nothing in our podcast is legal advice. Our podcast is for educational purposes only. If you need legal advice, please consult a lawyer. If you like the episode and subscribe to the channel for more, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. The handle is at 360 Solicitors or at Shola for short. See you in the next episode.